I'm Matthew from Radio Cardiff.
And I'm Opal Fruits, and welcome to Pride Cottage.
And we'd like to welcome you to Pride Cymru's online Big Week Saturday.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it?
Very, very exciting. We are twin brothers, if you haven't guessed. If you'd like to know what that looks like underneath all the makeup and everything, it's this.
Well, slightly.
Maybe.
A little bit more weight, but who cares? It's between friends, isn't it?
But yes, we are here. It's Saturday. It's normally would be our big, massive Pride celebration in the middle of Cardiff City Centre. And thank you to Miss Rona. Of course, it isn't going to happen this year.
It isn't. However, we still have lots and lots of entertainment for you all day today.
From interviews, entertainment, performances, to poetry, to cooking, we have it all.
We'll bring you some of the very best of the LGBTQIA community direct to your living room.
So, grab yourselves a cuppa and let's start. But before that, here's a message from our First Minister, Mark Drakeford.
Firstly, can I thank you for inviting me to join in with you all to celebrate the very first virtual Pride Cymru. After the chance to take part in the parade last year, I will certainly miss the excitement, but I am sure this online bringing together of our communities will generate a unique atmosphere all of its own. Pride Cymru weekend has become one of Wales's biggest annual events. And that success is because of your endless campaigning, determination and commitment to progressing true equality, not only here in Wales, but right across the globe. Thank you for all you do. Pride is about celebrating all of our identities and recognising the strength that comes to us all through diversity of our communities. Nothing has ever been won for progressive causes without a struggle. And while so much has been achieved, the journey to equality is still very far from over. Of course, I am proud to lead a government which is founded on our Wellbeing of Future Generations Act, with its commitment to a more equal Wales. A Wales in which each one of us plays a part in allowing others to be true to themselves and able to identify themselves as they would wish to do so. Now, I know that the past few months have been hard and that we have all had to adapt to new ways of doing things because of coronavirus. But I want to praise Pride Cymru for taking the initiative and organising this very first virtual Pride Cymru so that we may all continue to celebrate, campaign and fight for equality together. So please enjoy the day, celebrate and stay safe. And let's reinvent Pride Cymru once again to be the very best online festival here in Wales. Yn gyntaf, hoffwn ddiolch I chi am y gwahoddiad I ymuno yn nathliad rithiol cyntaf Pride Cymru. Ar ôl cael y cyfle I gymryd ran yn y parade y llynedd, byddaf yn colli'r holl cyfro, ond rwy'n siŵr y bydd yna deimlad arbennig ac unigryw heddiw hefyd, wrth i'n cymunedau ddod at ei gilydd ar-lein. Erbyn hyn, mae penwythnos Pride Cymru'n un o ddigwyddiadau mwyaf y flwyddyn. A daw'r llwyddiant hwnnw yn sgil eich ymgyrchu caled a phenderfynol chi I sicrhau cymdeithas wir gyfartal, nid yn unig yma yng Nghymru, ond dros y byd. Diolch I chi am popeth rydych yn wneud. Pwrpas Pride yw dathlu hunaniaeth pawb. Rhaid brwydro dros achosion blaengar. Nid yw'n waith hawdd. Ac bod llawer wedi ei ennill, nid yw'r frwydr drosodd o bell ffordd. Wrth cwrs, Rwy'n falch o arwain llywodraeth sy'n wedi ei seilio ar ddeddf genedlaethau'r dyfodol. Ac ymrwymiad i Gymru fwy teg a chyfartal. Cymru lle mae pob un ohonom yn chwarae a'i ran i adael i bobl eraill fod yn nhw eu hunan. Y bobl mae nhw eisiau bod. Rwy'n gwybod bob y misoedd diwethaf wedi bod yn anodd. Mae pawb wedi gorfod addasu i ffordd newydd o fyw oherwydd y coronavirus. Ond hoffwn ganmol Pride Cymru am gymryd yr awenau a threfnu'r Pride Cymru ar y lein gyntaf, fel bod pawb yn gallu dal ati i ddathlu, ymgyrchu'r ac amladd dros gydraddoldeb gyda'n gilydd. Felly, mwynhewch, dallwch a chadwch yn ddiogel, ac rwy'n siŵr y bydd Pride Cymru ar ŵyl ar-lein orau yng Nghymru.
And thank you for that, Mr. Drakeford. Now, let's start as we mean to go on and hand you over to the wonderful Tom Barnwell, who was on The Voice.
So hello Pride Cymru, my name is Tom Barnwell. You might have seen me on The Voice a few years back. You might have even seen me performing at Cardiff Pride. I wish we could be there this year, but maybe next year, folks, maybe next year. This is one of my all-time favourite songs by Sash, called Mysterious Times. Thank you so much. Stay safe. See you soon.
So if there's a celebration, there should be cake, and here we have a wonderful Pride cake created for us by Katie Davis from Leith. Katie was a quarter-finalist on BBC One's Britain's Best Cook with Mary Berry.
Hello and happy Pride 2020. I'm so excited to be here with all of you and to be able to show you how to make this quick and simple Pride cake. For the inside of the cake, I'm just going to do a simple lemon sponge, and most people absolutely love lemon, and it's lovely if you're having a little G&T as well. So let's get started. I've started by weighing 5 eggs, which is going to give us 3 6-inch cakes. And then I've weighed my caster sugar to the same weight, and I've weighed my cooking margarine, which is Stork, to the same weight as well. And we're going to cream them together. As you can see, that's got much lighter and the sugar's been fully absorbed into the cooking margarine. And to this now I'm going to add just a capful of lemon extract. You don't want too much. And then for some real lemon flavour, I'm going to add the zest of 2 lemons. And to this I'm just going to add about a spoonful of my self-raising flour, which has got a pinch of salt in it as well. And that'll just stop our eggs from curdling. I'm going to add 2 of those to begin with, and we're going to give that a really good mix. And then I'm just going to add another egg, and then another egg. Just going to add our last egg. And you can see how nice and fluffy and rich that's looking. And the last thing is just to add the rest of our self-raising flour. So I'm going to abandon my hand mixer now for a minute, and I'm going to do this by hand. When you're making a cake, it's absolutely fine to beat it as much as you like until you add the flour. Once you add the flour, you've got to be very gentle with it, because flour has gluten, and if you overwork that, the cake can become tough. And that's our cake mix all done, nice and easy. So just to get my cake layers nice and even, I'm just going to weigh my cake layers. You don't have to do this, but I find when you come to take the tops off later to make them even, you're losing less cake. So these are 6-inch cake tins that I've rubbed with Trex, which is a vegetable fat, and then I've just lined with a piece of greaseproof paper at the bottom. So I'm just adding about 350 grams to each tin. I'm just going to use an offset spatula to smooth down my tops. If you don't have one of these, you could just use the back of a spoon. So I'm going to pop these in a preheated oven at 160 degrees fan for about 18 minutes. So I'm going to start checking them after 18 minutes, but they may take a little bit longer than that.
And part 2 will be coming up a little bit later today.
Now, throughout the day, we are going to show you some great interviews, and the first one is from Rob. Rob's been to meet the brains behind the blog, Our Transitional Life. Zoey and Kelly talk about their ups, their downs, and their story, and here it is.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining us here as part of our Pride Cottage Goes On tour. Would you be good enough to introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Zoe, and we run a blog / social channels LGBTQ+ called Our Transitional Life.
Brilliant. So you're a married couple.
We are.
And you've got a couple of kids.
Yeah.
So how long have you been running the blog?
It started just over a year ago.
Yeah.
It's just almost a year. Yeah, I think it's just over a year old now. Yeah, that's gone really fast. It feels it's like just yesterday.
It kicked off like around July last year, so 2019.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And why did you start doing the blog in the first place?
Well, do you want me to say?
Yeah.
When Zoe came out, you were a bit shy, weren't you? And we were like,
Yeah.
well, we'll keep everything quiet. We won't really talk about it. And then one day we had a little bit of an epiphany. We were like, actually, we should just own our life and our lifestyle and our family.
Yeah.
And so I started, because you were still a little bit shy at that point. Totally changed now.
I don't know. I've seen you on a Wednesday night.
Exactly. Completely changed.
The karaoke's kicked in, but you're actually still quite shy.
I am. I think I've performed on stage for years, and I've always had a band behind me, and that's my comfort zone, my little space. But when it comes to the spotlight entirely on me, I do get a little bit nervous at
You're
first.
fine now.
Once I'm through the
days.
first few seconds, I'm all right.
It was early days though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we kind of did it with Zoe kind of not on the vlog. She didn't record any videos or anything like that. And then I don't know what happened. I think it was the award.
Yeah.
When we won a newcomer award last year, you seemed to change then. You were so happy. You were crying at the ceremony.
I was like, oh God, this is serious now. People are actually taking us a little bit more seriously. It's not just a bit of fun or whatever.
And then you started coming forward then a lot more.
Yeah, it's really
Do you think that your confidence was boosted because you realised that people did care and they were listening to your voice?
Yeah, I think so. And I think obviously as time progressed, because I only came out last January, and we were starting to embrace it more, and I was being a bit more bold, holding my head a little higher when I was out and about. I think that combined with the feedback and the award and everything as well, it kind of boosted me on to push more out there.
Support is so very important, isn't it?
100%.
And that goes for you as well.
Yes, yeah. I feel supported by Zoe though. I think one thing that's made our relationship super strong is that she's always said your feelings are valid. Whatever you're feeling is valid, especially when she came out. Whatever you're feeling is valid. If you're feeling upset or any myriad of feelings, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then she's also always said to me and the kids, it's our journey, which is why we came up with the title Our Transitional Life, because she includes us in everything. She doesn't make it, it's all, it is about you. Yeah. But you include us in it, we go to appointments with you, you talk to us, you're honest and open, so it's like we're doing it with you.
So you started this blog and you started getting followers. I'm assuming that as well as the positive feedback, you've had some negative as well?
Yeah, we've collaborated with a few different companies and things, and as you'll understand, we get a lot of negative posts and comments on some of the things that we've done.
Don't read the comments.
We've learned to not read the comments on external stuff. We get such a huge amount of support on anything that we put out on our blog, on our social channels as well, which is fantastic. But we have had one threatening email through the blog, which was uncomfortable, but thankfully the police have been very supportive with that. So
yeah, that was a bit of a daunting time. You were quite strong through that though.
Yeah.
I think I was more nervous, feeling like there was someone out there.
Yeah.
Do they know where we live? I don't know. That can be quite scary, but you've got to keep going, haven't you?
Definitely. And I think again, we share everything, all the highs and the lows, and I think that's really important because we get so much support. It's Instagram especially is our safe space, and it's full of beautiful people smiling all the time, but life isn't always like that. So although we do try to portray that we are positive, we can get through things together, we also put the negative stuff out there to show that it's real and it does happen.
Absolutely. I've recently been watching, I believe the kids call it TikTok.
Oh yeah.
And that has been incredibly popular with the trans community. I'm seeing nothing but positivity. And what I have loved on there is when they have received negative comments, they've posted them and they have replied to them.
Yeah.
And the support for those is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So have you thought about doing a TikTok?
We've got an account, but we can't keep up with it all. There's so many platforms. How do you do it all?
Absolutely, totally agree with you. So I like the fact that when you receive negative comments that you acknowledge that they happen, but they don't let you grind you down. And I think that's so important for both of you.
Yeah.
So let's flip that around. Let's talk about the positivity. I view you as role models, and I can't be on my own in that. What other positivity do you get? Have people reached out to you for advice because they're on a similar journey to you? I say similar because everybody's journey is their own.
Yes, of course.
And you can't, I don't judge other people by their journeys because I don't want them to judge me by mine.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming, hopefully not incorrectly, that you have been able to help and inspire other people on a similar journey to yourselves.
I think a good thing is with us is we run it together now, so we have the perspective of myself as a trans person and from your point of view as a partner. So we do get a lot of partners and people who have just come out or who are thinking about coming out, getting in touch with us, asking for advice all the time.
Yeah, we get some really nice emails as well. We've had one recently from someone who's just said, you keep us going, because your story is similar to ours. It keeps us positive, and keeps us going through our journey too. So, but like you say, everyone is different. We've had people that we've supported that the relationships haven't made it, but everyone's okay still. Like, we're not saying that it's always roses. So yeah, I think we get a mix.
Yeah.
And obviously as parents, you're also role models as parents in this relationship.
I think the kids are the role models.
The kids are the role models. Oh my God.
They're pretty amazing.
Adults could learn so much about like lack of judgment from kids and acceptance. They're so amazing.
Absolutely. Whitney Houston put it beautifully when she said, I believe children kids and teach them well and let them lead the way.
100%, yeah.
So true.
I think that's so very, very true about so many things.
Yep.
So we talked briefly on the positive and the negative aspects. I'd like to know what you guys are hoping for the future.
We wing everything.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
We try to plan. We always try to plan, and we've got this great big whiteboard with all these things planned up on the wall.
And we'd like all these things to happen.
And we do it for a little bit, and then other things, like you'll understand, like we get offers for this, that, and everything else. We're like, slot that in there, and it's like.
And life is happening, isn't it? The John Lennon quote: "Life is what happens whilst you're busy making other plans."
Yeah,
absolutely,
like
exactly.
And then Corona hit us all so much.
Exactly. So we're just winging it. And
I think we just like to keep supporting people.
Yeah, 100%. Keep putting ourselves out there, growing as a family, and growing our accepting community that supports us and is with us through all of it all.
And as we were chatting earlier, and we were talking about normalising life.
Yes.
We've got a friend who said that he went through some different things, and it's when people start getting bored of your story that you've done the work.
Yeah.
When people are bored of you, and there's no more criticism left. They're used to you, aren't they?
Yeah.
So once they get bored of it.
I don't think I could ever get bored of you two. I follow you on your socials. I find you fascinating and inspiring.
Oh, you're
You're
lovely.
wearing a necklace that says love.
Yes, I love this necklace.
And for me, I think that sums up you two beautifully and your family. On behalf of everybody at Pride Cymru, thank you for coming on to talk to us.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching at this moment in time?
I want to say Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Sorry, I get so excited.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Hopefully we'll see you in the field outside the City Hall lawns next year.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of Pride Cymru 2020 online.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Some really great insights there. Thank you to the ladies for sharing.
Now, throughout the day-to-day, we will be asking you to donate some money to Pride Cymru, and you can do this via text message. All you need to do is text the word Pride to 70470, and that will donate £5 to us.
Yes, that message will cost you £5 plus your standard network charge. And don't forget, you will also get a text message to ask you to gift aid your donation. If you are aged over 18 and you are a UK taxpayer, please apply yes, because the government will give us extra money and it won't cost you anything. All money raised throughout this week will go to our valuable work that we do year round and not just for the week of Pride Cymru.
So, during the pandemic, we've all had our wings clipped a little bit and we've not been able to see as much of the country as we'd like. So what we've done is decided to bring it to you with some postcards.
Let's head over to Cardiff Bay with the one and only, the ever fabulous Miss Kitty.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Opal. Here at Cardiff Bay today, would you please now welcome live on stage the one and only Rachel Roberts and Shirley Bassey.
Hello everybody, Pride Cymru 2020, isn't it a little bit different? I would say kiss me, henny henny kiss me, but with coronavirus we've all got to socially distance, my loves. So I'm going to blow you some kisses, and we're here in Cardiff Bay, as you can see behind me, and what better song than this that was written for me, all about my home, town and city. This is the girl from Tiger Bay. There's a crack in every pavement, underneath there is a beach. It's been a long time longing as history repeats. Yes, many times I wondered how a part of me remains. A place so full of beauty that somehow never change. I bought a ticket of a Hello everybody, welcome, Shemai Croeso, to Cardiff Bay, also known as in Dame Shirley Bassey's younger days, Tiger Bay, of course. What a pleasure it is to be here for Pride Cymru 2020. And what a very different Pride we are having. But we are still sending so much love to you all. Maybe you're watching us at home. Maybe you're having a socially distanced garden party with your family and friends. Either way, we're sending so much love to you. It's been a pleasure for me for the past few years to pay tribute to Dame Shirley Bassey and also to live in South Wales as well and to be welcomed by everybody here, including a very, very warm welcome from the LGBTQ+ community. And this is one little way of giving some love back. So even though we can't be with each other today, I'm hoping that you're watching and you know how much, very, very much we appreciate you and love you, and how much we're looking forward to seeing you next year as well. So there's only one song that I can do for you, and that's one I'm going to dedicate to all of you. It is I Am What I Am. So come, take a look, give me the hook at the ovation. My world and I long to have a little brighter. My world and it's not a place I have to it's not but a day till you can say, hey, world, I'm what I am. I am what I am. I don't need praise, I don't need pity. I beg my own drum. Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. So what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is just a sham till you can say, hey, world, I'm what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I do my own deck, sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. One life and there's no return, no depart. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Your life is not but a damn till they can say, hey, world, I am what I am. Diolch yn fawr. Until next year, happy Pride Cymru 2020. Lots of love. Thank you.
Welcome back to part 2, and thank you to our wonderful sponsors. With their help, we are bringing this to you today.
Now, as we said earlier on, we would normally be in the front of the City Hall lawns having a huge weekend celebration. So what would you normally be doing on the Saturday?
Around about this time, I'd actually be getting ready to take the main stage, do some hosting. So that's what I'd be doing, and also looking after the VIP area.
But yes, we are really missing our event, and we're missing seeing you guys. We are hoping we're going to enjoy this weekend and our online content, and have enjoyed most of what we've done so far this week as well. And hopefully next year we'll be back in the flesh with you in front of the City Hall lawns. Should we have some more entertainment?
Let's have some more.
So every year we have an amazing friend of Pride Cymru, the Kinetic Theatre Group. They have done some incredible things, from the musicals and Kinky Boots last year to the ABBA, The Year the Rain. We don't talk about that year.
We don't talk about that.
But here they are with a special performance for us. It's the Kinetic Theatre Group.
Sing a song for the broken hearted. No silent prayer for the faith departed. And I ain't gonna be just don't be called my pride. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud. Oh yeah, it's my life. It's now or never. And I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live right now. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway, and I'm just gonna do it my way. I just wanna live right now. It's
This is for the ones who stood their ground. Romeo and Juliet who never backed down. Tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake.
gotta make your own way. It's my life, it's now or never. And I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my
That was beautiful. Now, are you ready for another postcard? This time we're off to Penarth with the reigning Pride's Got Talent winner. It's Nico.
Hi guys, my name's Nico, and last year I won the Pride's Got Talent competition in Cardiff for the Pride Cymru event. This year, obviously, as you know, we can't celebrate Pride in our usual fashion, so the people at Pride Cymru have asked me to perform 2 songs for you for the online Pride experience. So these are 2 songs that I've sung for many, many years. If you're friends with me and you know me very well, then you'll know that I've sung these quite a lot. So I hope you enjoy. If you do, please feel free to follow me on my music channels, which are now live. They are Nico Fitz Music on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. Happy Pride, please enjoy, and happy Pride. Here we go. Woke up cold one Tuesday, looking tired and feeling quite sick. I felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that saved me. Topped it off with a pair of old shoes that were ripped around the seams. I thought these shoes just don't suit me. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything is right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, no short money but long, long time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. Wearing my brand new shoes. Woke up late one Thursday, I'm seeing stars as I'm rubbing my eyes, and I felt like there were 2 days missing as I focused on the time. And I made my way to the kitchen, but I had to stop from the shock of what I found. The room full of all of my friends all dancing round and round. I thought, hello, the new shoes, bye-bye the blues. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, no short money but long, long time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. So wearing my brand new shoes. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, you take me on. I'm walking to the break of dawn. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, you take me on. I'm walking till the break of dawn. Hey, hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything is right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, oh, short money but long, long time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. So wearing my brand new shoes. Oh, hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything is right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, oh, short money but long, long time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. So wearing my brand new shoes. Thank you very much. Just make sure that doesn't play twice in a row. Okay, so this is my second and final song. Again, happy Pride. This song means a lot to me. If for anyone who's gone through a hard time in the past couple of years or months, weeks, whatever, listen to the lyrics of this song. It's from one of my favourite Netflix films called Sing. It's an Elton John song. So I'm going to do that for you now, if I can find it. Here we go. Enjoy.
that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And again, happy Pride. Bye everyone.
And with that, we've almost finished our hour here at the Pride Cottage.
We have. There's still lots to come for you today. We've got the winner of the Pride Cymru Poetry Competition. We've got some more entertainment. We've got some more hosts and some great interviews coming up as well.
Yes, and you can always find out more about what we're doing at Pride Cymru and not just what we do in August on the Pride Cymru radio show, which happens every Wednesday between 7 and 9 on Radio Cardiff and Pro Radio. With me.
And that's it from us now. I'm off for a lay down. He'll be back a little bit later on. And your hosts coming up are Stephen Parry and the one and only son of a tutu will be with you very shortly.
Her eyes make stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. And every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while.
Shemai, I'm Stephen Parry, and my co-host for this section is none other than award-winning drag artist and activist, son of a tutu.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Pleasure.
When I was told we were coming here to do Pride Cymru, they told me it's going to be an international affair and I was going to be co-hosting with an international luminary. And I got Welsh Stephen.
Yeah.
No, but he is the Prince of Wales, the one and only Stephen Parry. And it's so wonderful to be working with you at long last.
And you.
Thank you very much. We are here in the Pride Cottage. They say cottage, but it really is a grotty 2 up, 2 down, in the middle of the back of nowhere. And well, they made us do the cleaning today when we arrived. But do you know what? In Corona time, and Pride has to go on, we'll do it anywhere as long as we bring the flavour and intensity and spirit of Pride to you at home. So we're happy to be here at the Pride Cottage. Now, I think our next performer is a talented Welsh singer who goes by the name of Cerys John.
Hello everyone, happy Pride 2020, Pride Cymru 2020. Hope you're all having fun and enjoying yourself while staying safe, obviously. As ever, it's an honour to be playing for Pride. This year I decided to do a couple of covers by 2 infamous artists. The first one is an old one from someone called Madonna. I don't know if you know her. True Blue. I've had other girls, I've looked into their eyes, but I've never known love before, till you walked through my door. I've had other lips, I've sailed 1,000 ships, but no matter where I go, you're the one for me, baby. Yes, I know, 'cause it's true love. You're the one I'm dreaming of. Your heart fits me like a glove, and I'm gonna be true blue, baby. I love you. I've heard all the lines, I cried oh so many times. Those teardrops, they won't fall again. I'm so tired 'cause you're my best friend. So if you should ever doubt, wonder what love is all about, just think back and remember, dear, those words whispered in your ear. True love, you're the one I'm dreaming of. Your heart fits me like a glove, and I'm gonna be true blue, baby. I love you. No more sadness, I'll kiss it goodbye. The sun is bursting right out of the sky. I searched the whole world for someone like you. But don't you know that it's true love, oh baby, true love, oh baby, true love, oh baby, true love, it's true love, oh baby, true love, oh baby, true love, oh baby, true love, it's so if you should ever doubt, wonder what love is all about, just think back and remember, dear, those words whispered in your ear said true love.
enjoyed that one. So this next one is one of my favourites from one of the biggest icons ever, not just in our world ever. It's by a certain Sir Elton John, and it's just brilliant. Hope you enjoy it. It's called Cocktail Lock.
Young, me and Susie had so much fun, holding hands and skimming stones. Had no gold Chevy and a place of our own, but the biggest kick I ever got was doing a thing called the crocodile walk, while the other kids were rocking around the clock. We were hopping and bopping to the crocodile walk. Well, crocodile walking is something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. I never will. Lord and Mama was Friday night, so when Susie wore her dresses tight and the crocodile walking was out of sight. Well, the years went by and the rock just died. Susie went and left us with some foreign guy. Long nights crying by the wrecking machine, dreaming of a Chevy and her old blue jeans, but they'll never kill the thrills we got. Burning up to the crocodile rock, learning fast as the weeks went past. We always thought the crocodile rock would last. Well, crocodile walking is something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. Never knew me a better time, and I guess I never will. Lord and Mama was Friday night, so when Susie wore her dresses tight and the crocodile walking was out of sight. Me and Susie had so much fun, holding hands and skimming stones. Had an old Chevy and a place of our own, but the biggest gig I ever got, doing a thing called the crocodile rock, while the other kids were rocking around the clock. We were hopping and bopping to the crocodile walk. Well, crocodile walking is something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. Never knew me a better time, and I guess I never will. Lord and Mama was Friday night, so when Susie wore her dresses tight and the crocodile walking was out of sight. One year. So yeah, that was Elton John. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have again a wonderful, wonderful Pride. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll see each other again next year. So yes, have a wonderful one. Cheers.
Bendigedig, diolch I ti, Cerys. Cerys John there, showing her lovely Welsh talents.
Indeed. Not that I understood a word of your German. Another talent that Wales is famous for is poetry.
Yep.
Poetry, Stephen.
I know.
Poetry. And Pride Cymru wanted to showcase that by running a competition. And later on, we'll be bringing to you the winner of that competition and the piece that won it.
But before then, here's a piece of poetry by one of the judges of that competition. Here she is, Miss Sarah McCready.
They didn't tell me, but they'll tell her. They didn't tell me in school, in church, and Bart Simpson never wrote it on a chalkboard. They didn't tell me in books. I never turned pages in fervent anticipation, swift licks leaned to a paper-cut kiss, because they were telling my story. Like princesses that dig princesses, like really dig princesses. They didn't tell me in assembly halls we'd sit, our itchy grey tights stuck to the semolina glazed floor, cross legs and scrunchies. They didn't tell me there's a reason why it all went a bit electric when she knocked her knee into me. But they'll tell her. They didn't tell me that friendship wasn't supposed to ache like that, to hurt like that, to burn like that, to make me blush, flush, rush my words like that, to make me feel alive like that. Ain't nobody told me that it was love. So I stood there waiting, till my heart blistered under hot stars, till the back of my legs burned pink, till my bones felt far too heavy for my body and highly unnecessary. And I sent my feelings to the only places there are, Cardiff, America and Mars. Because ain't nobody told me. But they'll tell her. Tell her. Tell her so she wouldn't have to hide her soup bowl pupils behind the lids of her eyes for the fear of her truth being aeroplane spelled out in the sky. Tell her she needn't sit on shy limbs or press pause on the tender hymns tucked away in her larynx. Tell her she can say those unsaid words that swelled and popped like that bubblegum she can't take her eyes off. Tell her she can lean down and tie that girl's shoelaces if she wants to. Tell her she can say it out loud.
Cornwall, Southampton and Warsaw. So, lots of love from all of us here to all of you out there who are celebrating Pride and to everyone all over the UK.
Yes, indeed. I spot cake. I know, as if I haven't had enough cake in lockdown, but that looks rather fetching, let me tell you.
Good, isn't it?
See, normally when I come to Wales, I get given Welsh cake, but this looks like a lovely little upgrade.
Do you want to tuck in?
I think we should.
Okay, while we tuck in, you can learn how this was decorated by the lovely Katie. Here goes.
So while our cakes are in the oven cooking, I'm just going to pop on and start making our lemon buttercream. I'm going to start by adding 250 grams of butter to my stand mixer. I've decided to use salted, but you can use unsalted if you prefer. I'm going to turn this all the way up to high, and we're going to whip it for about 10 minutes until it's light and really fluffy. I did forget to mention, you want to start with room temperature butter, and every so often I'm going to just scrape down the sides. Okay, so our butter's pretty much done. I'm just going to scrape it down one more time, and you can just see how much lighter and whippy that is. Whippy, whippy. I'm going to add now my icing sugar, and I've got 500 grams of icing sugar in here, and I'm going to add this in 2 batches, so about half and half. Ooh, cloudy. I just want to turn the mixer on to the lower setting so we don't beat too much air into it. Okay, I'm going to add our second lot of iced sugar. My buttercream is made now and it's a little bit stiff. This wouldn't probably pipe or go on a cake very easily because it's quite stiff. So we're going to slacken it off with some lemon juice because we're making a lemon cake. If we were making a normal vanilla cake or chocolate cake, anything like that, we'd add a little bit of cool boiled water. I'm going to take my lemons that I zested earlier and I'm just going to roll them on the table to release all that juice. And then we're going to just juice them. One might be enough, so we'll go with that, and then if we need the other one, we got the other one from earlier as well. I got my lemon juice and I'm going to put my mixer back onto low And then I'm going to slowly add the lemon juice a little bit at a time until I get the right consistency. So you can see now the texture's changed, but it's still holding its shape. And you want your texture of your buttercream to be sort of like soft butter, so it's easy to spread. This might be just a little bit soft because it's a very hot day today. So I'm going to pop it in the fridge for about 5 minutes before I use it. And most importantly, you just need to taste it as well. So the cakes are all cooked. I've just tested them with a blunt knife to make sure they're cooked through. I'm just going to run this very thin knife around the edge. And then we're going to turn them out. And it should just pop out. There we are. You just peel off the greaseproof paper. Now, I always take my cakes straight out of the tin as soon as they come out of the oven. And the reason I do that is because they will continue to cook otherwise, and they can become dry. So we just need these to cool now, and then we can put our cake together and decorate it. So I've let the cakes cool. So now I'm going to just cut them so they're all level. So I'm just going to put my cake board on my cake turntable. Then I'm going to add a nice bit of buttercream onto the bottom. And I'm going to add my first cake. So I'm just going to take my piping bag and fill that with some buttercream. So I like to just turn it over my hand like that, so I can use my hand to sort of scrape the buttercream off. Like that. Mush that down towards the end. I'm just going to make a nice ring around the outside before we add our lemon curd. This is homemade lemon curd, and if you want the recipe you can head over to katiehomecook.com and it's on there. Curds are actually a lot easier to make than you might think, and I like to put it on the cut side of the cake so it can sort of seep into the cake. It keeps it moist and also adds lots and lots of extra flavour of lemon. Just gonna finish off with a bit more buttercream. And then I'm just going to smooth that out. And I'm going to add our next layer. I'm going to take the last cake layer now and pop it over the other way to get a nice flat top. The last thing I want to do now before I put it in the fridge is just go around with my scraper. I want to make sure that the cake is straight. And then I scrape off any excess buttercream and crumbs. So I'm going to just pop this in the fridge now to cool down again before we add our crumb coat. I'm just going to start covering the cake with buttercream. And now it's all sealed in, I'm just going to go over and make it smooth. So I'm putting my scraper flat along the cake board and then up against the cake at a slight angle, just to smooth it around. And then just take it in from the top edge, in towards the centre and off, to take off any excess off the top as well. There we are. So that's crumb coated now. I'm going to pop it back in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So I've let that set up in the fridge now, and then I'm going to put a second coat on, and hopefully this will be the final coat, if we can get it nice and smooth. So I'm just going to start with the top. Put a nice bit on the top, and you sort of want to bring it round until it starts to go over the edge of the cake. And I'm going to carry on adding on more buttercream on the sides. And then I'm going to use my bench scraper again, straight at the bottom onto the cake board and pull it round at an angle. I'm going to fill in any big gaps now with a bit more buttercream. And you can see the consistency of the buttercream goes on like sort of warm butter. left it in the fridge for a couple of hours. So we're just going to decorate it, which is the fun part. So I've coloured the bit of buttercream that we had left over into the rainbow flag colours. I'm just going to take a nice dollop of that and pop it on the cake. Going to add some letters. So I'm going to add your letters before your buttercreams have a chance to dry, and I've just done these on edible printer icing, which I printed the words and I inverted them so they were backwards, cut them out, and then I can just pop them on the cake. So I'm just going to finish off the top now with the decoration. I made a heart shape out of acetate. I'm just going to fill that in with the remaining rainbow buttercream. And that's the cake complete. So here's the pride cake all finished. It wasn't too difficult and hopefully you'll be able to recreate it. If you do want the recipe, you can head over to katiehomecook.com. I really hope you enjoyed the best of Pride Cymru this year, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye!
Bendigedig, mae blas y gacau yma yn ffantastig. Blas lemon, llongyfarchiadau, Katie, and I look forward to seeing you next year at the Roth Bake Off.
And talking about food, the lovely Joe Ali recently went along to the Hangfire Southern Kitchen to talk to celebrity TV chefs, Sam and Shauna, about how Miss Rona has impacted their lives.
So I'm in Hangfire Kitchen in Barry, joined by the lovely Shauna. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy.
It's a pleasure.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm all branded up. I've got my Hangfire t-shirt on. I'm usually in the check shirt, but they made me work tonight. So I'm having to look like a member of staff.
Amazing, amazing.
We're good.
So we're back in action. You know, COVID has been especially difficult for a lot of people, but I know with you personally, you and Sam's story, it's been crazy. You were meant to be getting married after 20 years together,
yeah.
You know, but you ended up actually outing yourself on live TV, you know, on BBC Saturday Kitchen. How was that? That was crazy.
A bit impromptu, to be honest with you, because like Sam and I have been together 20 years. So to us and all of our friends and family, everybody knows. But when we started off our business, we didn't really ever come out to like the general public. And actually, if you go on Google and you type in Sam and Shauna Hangfire, one of the searches that actually comes up is Sam and Shauna Hangfire, are they a couple? So obviously, like, people were picking up on it. But it's not that we were like in the closet or ashamed of our sexuality in any way. It's just when we were building our brand, we didn't want it to detract or distract from what we were trying to do. So it was never really important because, you know, being gay, you know, Sam and I, we've been gay since we were nippers. So it didn't really come as a shock to us. But when we went on Saturday Kitchen, we had to explain why we weren't social distancing. So we had Matt Tebber, who's the presenter there, and Sam and I sat right beside each other. And actually, the actual day that we went on, the 6th of June 2020, would have been Sam and I's 20-year anniversary. So we were on the show, and then, yeah, we managed to out ourselves live on BBC One to 14 million people.
So after, obviously, that crazy moment, you know, was there any sort of backlash? Were there any comments on social media? Or like, how was the
Do you know what? We were overwhelmed by how supportive and how lovely everybody was, actually. We'd been on Saturday Kitchen before, and we've had like a few nasty comments about the food that we've cooked. But just so many amazing outpouring messages, and obviously for a lot of our customers that already knew we were a couple, there was a few posts on Instagram saying slow news day. Sam and Sean are a couple. Slow news day, because obviously everybody knows. But yeah, having never ever talked about our sexuality ever, and then outing ourselves live to 14 million people, well, if you're going to do it, Joe,
do it big.
Just go hard or go home.
Absolutely. So I think I know you were meant to be doing something this summer, and obviously COVID has changed plans dramatically. I think you were meant to be recording another series of your show.
Yeah.
But you were going to get Pride involved as well.
Well, that is an exclusive. Only you guys know this, because it was going to be a big secret. So Sam and I have our own TV show, and it's been on BBC Wales. We're in the 3rd series. It's called Sam and Shauna's Big Cookout. And there was a 4th series in the pipeline, because what we've always tried to do with the show is drive diversity. So you'll see lots of the episodes. We've done ones with the Cloyd Special Needs Riding Centre. We've done ones with the Samaj, the Indian Gujarati women. We've done one with, like, you know, people from the valleys, just really trying to show that Wales is a very diverse country. But one of our big triumphs that we wanted to do was Pride. Cardiff Pride. We wanted to do Sam and Shauna's big cookout at Cardiff Pride, and then the old global pandemic hit, so we'll just have to shelve that for whenever we can all come together, because the whole point of Big Cookout is to get a big community together and all cook and all eat together. And I think, unfortunately, with the social distancing and everything the way it is, it's going to be a while before we all get together in a field in Cardiff and do a big cookout. And hence the reason we're here doing the Pride virtual festival. So, you know, you got to keep these events still going, but it's going to be a while before we're going to be able to do a big cookout at Pride.
Awesome. So, looking forward to the future now. Have you got any more books coming out in the future? What can you look forward to next?
So we just reopened the restaurant, and such is the popularity of this restaurant, we are now fully booked till November, so that's going to keep us busy for a while. We're a very popular restaurant, very busy restaurant. And because of the way we had to close, and we had to actually make some staff redundant, which was horrible, and then we furloughed 16 members of staff. So we are kind of short-staffed at the minute in the restaurant since reopening, so I've kind of stepped into being the general manager, and Sam has kind of stepped into being the executive chef. So for the foreseeable, I'm going to be working here full-time, and Sam's going to be working here full-time, so I can't really see us doing too much. We do some brand ambassador work. For example, we're brand ambassadors for maple syrup, and next year we're going to be brand ambassadors for North Carolina sweet potatoes.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're going to have to go to North Carolina at some point. But to be honest, I'm really enjoying just being here and doing this full time, because my life was getting too hectic before Christmas, to be honest with you. And Sam and I didn't realise how emotionally and physically drained we actually were until we made it stop. Because what's happened to us in the last 7 years, from winning the BBC Food and Farming Awards, the Observer Food Monthly Award, never been won by 2 women before, never been won by a Welsh restaurant before. So you got 2 women on Barry Island, you know, just really trying to regenerate this area and build a restaurant here that's for everybody. And you'll see the lots of different customers that come in here, and it's a really diverse restaurant. My staff team are really diverse. It's a really nice place to be. So to be honest, I'm just glad to be here in a full-time job, just focus on one thing. Cookbook wise, we really should write another cookbook, because the Hang Fire cookbook was published in 2016 and we've sold thousands of copies, and everybody's on to us about writing another cookbook, but I suppose we've just got to wait for Sam to get out of the kitchen for that to happen.
Amazing. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I know
Absolute
you're so busy
pleasure.
and you're getting back to it all, so we really, really appreciate it. Now back to you guys, back at the Pride Cottage.
Dwi gan sy'n gynnu ni nesa gan y côr The Songbirds. To take us up to the break, a couple of songs from the Songbird Choir.
Someday
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. If there's a load you have to bear that you can carry on, right up the road I'll share your load if you just call me. Call me, call me, call me, call me, if you need a friend. Call me, call me, if you need a friend. Call me, call me, call me, call me, if you need a friend. Call me. Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. From the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel, and you could almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Out of the sun, we'll be having some fun. People walking above, we'll be falling in love under the boardwalk, boardwalk. We were singing, oh, under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking about. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk, under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be.
Now let's talk about you, Stephen.
Me?
Yeah, I've been wanting to meet and work with you for quite a while. Because Stephen is not just an incredible actor, an incredible activist, hey Mr. Producer,
woo,
and also, now I understand, an author of a great book. So I think it's only right that we should give some time and find out a bit more about yourself.
Okay.
And this book.
Okay.
So let me ask by saying, what's it all about, Stephen?
Well, I've been asked a few times to write a book. I have had a pretty bonkers and a beautifully colourful life. But I've also had a very bilingual life. I've had like two different lives. I speak English and Welsh fluently. I spoke Wenglish as a child, so I'd go from English into Welsh halfway through a sentence.
Wenglish?
Well, put English and Welsh together.
I love that.
Okay, so my career has jumped language from English to Welsh to all over. So I've wanted to do so many things within the media that I seem to have had about 500 careers, doubled with two languages, so I never know whether I'm an actor, a singer, a presenter, a producer, or an author.
Or bipolar.
Or bipolar. I think I'm just a show-off, really.
You've got many feathers to your cap. Let's talk about these one by one, actually. I understand that recently you've been working a lot more in events.
Yeah.
What kind of events are you doing, and what have they done, or what are they geared towards, especially towards the LGBTQI plus community?
I've presented a lot of the LGBT events in Cardiff over the years. But I did start an events company, as you beautifully remembered at the beginning, the name of my company, Mr. Producer. It's not subtle. I wanted a name for a company that said exactly what we did on the tin, and I wanted to produce events because I'd taken part in so many events over the years in English and in Welsh that were absolutely crap. There was no rehearsal, there was no imagination, there was no wow factor, there was nothing memorable, and I went to so many award ceremonies that bored the pants off me, and I thought, well, I can't really complain about this. Why don't I try and do something differently?
You've got to step up to the plate.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, I decided to start Mr. Producer with a laptop and a mobile phone. And luckily, and I don't really believe in luck, but with a lot of focus and hard work, and a lot of contacts that I knew and kept happy over the years, I managed to produce some of Wales's biggest events. We opened the Wales Millennium Centre, which was a whole weekend event of the Cymru for the World Honours, where we honoured Shirley Bassey and people like her for...
Name drop there.
I know,
Put that one
I
in
know,
the drawer,
I
carry
know
on.
many a thing about Bassey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Is
not...
this for now or for when the cameras stop rolling?
That's for my one-man show when I charge them £10 a ticket.
Me? Will you charge me?
Oh no, you can come in. You can do my hair.
I thought you were going to make me charge me 100.
No, but we did an awards ceremony to open the Wales Millennium Centre. Then we did a royal gala, and we had a 10,000 karaoke outside with Bryn Terfel, who is the most famous Welsh export we've got, and the most amazing operatic voice, singing with £350,000 worth of fireworks in Cardiff Bay. My brief was, you've got to make sure that the opening of this building will go on the news, so I decided to blow it up. And then from that job, I got, this is stupid, this is showbiz, I got headhunted to be the creative producer for the opening of the Ryder Cup, which was, I didn't even know what Ryder was. I had no idea. And the next minute, someone who'd never done any physical work in school, you know, I hated going on the cross country, any PE, I didn't do it at all. I had a...
to watch.
Well, I had a verruca that I nurtured that came right up to my thigh because I couldn't have periods, and all my girlfriends had a letter saying, you know, I can't do tennis today, I've got my period, and they're going, I must find my own period. So I developed this beautifully massive verruca who ended up with more A levels than me. And I...
Is that in the book?
That's in the book, it's all in the book. But I ended up producing one of the, well, it was the biggest sporting event at the stadium in Cardiff with Shirley Bassey again, someone else you may have heard of called Catherine Zeta-Jones. Another one, all in the book. So yeah, I've had a really, really great time doing some major events where 1 minute you're pooing your pants and the next minute you're standing up and clapping.
Well, all I'll say is book me. Now let's talk about...
Are you cheaper than Bassey?
No.
Okay. Get in the queue then.
But I charge less. Let's talk about your acting career.
Okay.
You had, in your television days, one of the seminal moments on screen for, I suppose, LGBTQI plus awareness when you were in Brookside. For those that don't know about that, tell us about it. Tell us about the impact and how it was for you being at the centre of it all.
I really, really didn't understand what impact it would have, not only on...
What was it?
It was Brookside. It was the soap opera, which was before Netflix, before Sky, when there were only 4 channels and S4C.
And White House.
Yes, of course, she was there. She ruined my career for a bit. But I...
She's dead.
Ding dong. I was living in a flat in Fairwater, and the Collins family, that were a very posh family on the Close, had a son called Gordon. They sent him off to France. He came back looking completely different with ginger hair, and they decided that character would be gay. And then they started talking about a very naughty, cheeky character called Christopher Duncan. And I specifically remember sitting on my orange shag pile carpet in Fairwater, Cardiff, thinking, who are they going to get to play this part? I can't wait to meet this character. And the next minute I get an audition for the part. And there's about 250 people all looking the same as me. I got the job in the most outrageous and rude interview audition you've ever heard in your life. That is in the book, or it's in one-man show. I couldn't get away with telling you now. I get the part. They decided very cleverly not to do any gay storylines for at least my first year there, so that the audience got to identify with us, like us, care about us, before they started putting in all these storylines of queer bashing, homophobia, all this stuff. What people didn't realise is that I hadn't actually come out myself. Wow. And the next minute I opened a script and it said, Christopher kisses Gordon Collins on the cheek. I think nothing of it.
And when you took the gig, did you know there was going to be a gay storyline in it?
I knew he was a gay character, but I didn't know anything else. You didn't know a thing. Next minute, I open the script and it says, Christopher gives a kiss to Gordon Collins on the cheek. I do that. What was clever with the writing and the writers, and it's always them, they're the ones that keep the soaps going, they had planned this gay kiss to be transmitted, because it goes out 6 weeks later, and it was transmitted the night before the march for Clause 28. And in the meantime, I didn't know any of this. I didn't understand the significance, the importance. I knew nothing, because I was a closeted Welsh-speaking actor playing a gay character, and I didn't think that anybody else knew I was gay. Zoey McKellen said to me, Zoey McKellen said, will you come and talk on the march? And whatever Ian McKellen would have said, I would have said yes. So I was there. Somebody posted on my Facebook the other day the speech that I'd written when I actually said, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, there isn't a closet big enough for all of us, and had cheers from 18,000 people with the media there from all over the world. And it was at that point I thought, I think I better go home and tell my mother. Not that I was going to be on the news as the first gay kiss in British telly, but that I was gay. Out. She was as cool as a cucumber. Wonderful. But even to this day, even last Tuesday, I found myself crying with a post that somebody had sent me via Facebook. A man in his 50s, just like me, although I only look 23, who actually said, you don't realise what you and the character did to help me, because I was suicidal when I was younger, and you and Gordon, your character and Gordon's character, were the only things that I had to cling on to feel that I actually was worth living.
Isn't it amazing how...
And that still happens now.
Yeah, when you're just living your own truth and finding your own self and living in the light of your truth, that you don't realise the impact it has on thousands of people that are in the dark, so to speak, out there, anonymous people. And did you get any tabloid? Because tabloids, back then, they loved to jump all over things like that.
No, I had no tabloid problems, and the only form of any sort of homophobia I thought at the time I was getting off a train, and an old lady turned around, looked me in the eye, and hit me over the head with a handbag. And I thought, this is homophobia, this is queer bashing. And I said, what did you do that for? And she said, you killed that dog in Brookside, didn't you? And knowing you actors, you probably had to do it more than once. Anyway, we can't sit here talking about me all day. All of it is in this book.
Can I just ask one last quick question?
Yeah.
I have to ask you about Marius, because I know you played Marius and Les Mis was my first big obsession when it comes to musical theatre. Who did you play opposite? Who was your Valjean, and what was that like?
Valjean, actually, was Peter Carey, a Welsh actor. Yeah. And my Eponine was none other than my very good friend still, Lindsay Haitley, who played the lead as Carrie in the musical Carrie on Broadway on her 17th birthday, can you believe?
Wow.
Her first job. Bitch.
Wow. And look at you now. She went to Broadway and you're
I'm here
with me? Well, thank you very much for that. That was interesting. And what's the book called? I know it's
called Out With It, Allan a Fo.
Is this the English?
That's the English side.
And then that's the Welsh side.
Yeah.
So, language is not a barrier. You can catch this book. And it's called...
Allan a Fo, Out With It.
Out With It. Please go and get it now. I haven't read it yet, but I promise you I will read it. Let's send it to the top of the bestseller list. Thank you very much.
Thanks, darling.
You superstar, Mr. Stephen Parry.
Well, that's enough about me. And if you want to know more about me, you can buy the book for $9.99 from your local bookshop or from Amazon. Or if you want a special message from myself with a signature, you can go to mrproducer.co.uk. Now that's the end of my hosting for today. I hope you have a great Pride. Tutu is going to be carrying on here, and later on she's going to be talking to two very good friends of mine, Wyburne and Wayne. But for me, diolch yn fawr iawn, mwynhewch, and I'm going to leave you now in the capable hands of Eleni.
Hi everyone, my name is Eleni C and I'm a singer-songwriter.
You see, that's how life goes. A few highs, a few lows. You just have to learn how to toe the line. They wanna see me fail, but I'm riding my own tail. Oh, and it's kinda crazy that life is not for me. My friends try to tell me, but I don't give a damn. Yeah, it's kinda crazy that life is not for me, for me, for me. But I don't give a damn. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. Living life with my foot off the brakes. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. 'Cause I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'm making my own way. Keep watching this space. One day you will remember my face. I'm living for today. I don't care what they say. Oh, and it's kinda crazy. And life is not for me. My friends try to tell me, but I don't give a damn. Yeah, it's kinda crazy. That life is not for me, for me, for me. But I don't give a damn. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. Living life with my foot off the brakes. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. 'Cause I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. One step at a time, I'll walk on the wild side with a better time, yeah. Walking on the wild side, one step at a time, yeah. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. Living life with my foot off the brakes. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. 'Cause I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. Living life with my foot off the brakes. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes. 'Cause I don't give a damn.
This song is called Silent Voices, and I really, really hope that you enjoy it.
I know what it takes. Ain't gonna let nobody get in my way. Ready to fight. It's my life and I got a lot to say. Hey, nobody's gonna kill my vibe. And I ain't gonna live no lie. I won't get lost in the hype. Not gonna be pushed aside. I'm ready, here I am. I'm gonna make the stand. Silent voices can't be heard. I'm ready, here I am. I'm gonna make a stand. Silent voices can't be heard. No silent voice. Silent voices can't be heard. No silent voice. Silent voices can't be heard. I've broken free. Life has no replay. I'm walking away, standing my ground. I know the rules and now I'm ready to play. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe. And I ain't gonna live no lie. I won't get lost in the hype. Not gonna be pushed aside. silent voice. Silent voices can't be heard. No silent voice. Silent voices can't be heard.
This is One Last Time.
Your eyes look with mine. It's like you never left the same. Is it just the same again? How can I still feel the same? I can't explain. The same old look that's in your eyes, I'm missing you. This time I swear it's the last. I can't fight this time. Now I can see it through your lights. Not the girl you left behind. I look at you and looking at me. I should feel scared, but I feel free. Baby, one last chance to let you back inside my heart. Baby, one last time before I let us fall apart. I was meant to many goodbyes. Don't wanna live in separate lives, but this is, baby, one last chance. I'm only gonna say this one last time. I don't wanna give you up. Nobody else lights up my dark. There is magic every time we touch. I catch fire from your spark. Don't run from me. Have you ever wondered why you can never say goodbye? Why you get jealous, go mad? Why you always coming back? I tell you why you feel like that. Love was always what we had. This is our forever start. This time I'm fighting for your heart. Baby, one last chance to let you back inside my heart. Baby, one last time before I let us fall apart. I was meant to many goodbyes. Don't wanna live in separate lives, but this is, baby, one last chance. I'm only gonna say this one last time. Here we go again. It's night and it's reckless, but you leave me breathless. Yeah, you leave me breathless. This is do or die. It's you this time. My heart is on the line. I'm only gonna say this one last time.
So I hope you guys enjoyed my last song, which is called One Last Time.
Me is make sure that all my friends, family can be who they want, love who they want and feel safe doing it.
Pride means to me three things: being your true authentic self, accepting exactly who you are, and celebrating all of that with your family and friends.
Pride means being your authentic self and continuing to stand up so others can do the same.
Learning to accept everyone else in their differences, to allow yourself to accept yourself.
To me, Pride is all about community and giving a safe space to those who don't always feel part of our community.
Pride for me is continuing to fight till everybody across the world has the same freedoms and can choose who they want to be.
For me is supporting togetherness in the community with our family and friends. So happy Pride Day.
Happy Pride Cymru.
Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
Oh, it's lovely to be here at Pride Cottages,
as part of Pride Cymru's online 2020 offerings.
It is, and coming up in the next hour, we're going to be interviewing the incredible son of a tutu right here on this sofa. I'm so excited. She's going to be telling us all about being in the new Everybody's Talking About Jamie movie.
Amazing. And we have music coming up from Chris Hall and Jack Ferguson. And Joe's going to be talking to a rugby team and talking about inclusivity.
You can never say it, inclusivity. Well done.
My teeth, they're rolling around in the rugby world, so that's going to be great.
It is going to be amazing. But before all that, here's our very good friend, the incredible Donna Marie.
My mama told me when I was young, we were all born superstars. She'd roll my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause it made you perfect, baby. So hold your head up, girl, and you go far. Listen to me when I no mistakes, I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret. Just love yourself and you'll say I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born this way. Give yourself prudence and love your friends, so we can rejoice the truth. In the religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin. Believe in capital H, I am, yeah. I love my life, I love this record, and me, I'm a yeah. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret. Just love yourself and you'll say I'm on the right track, baby, I was born. Born this way, hey. Hey, Cardiff Pride Cymru, how are you? It's so nice to be doing a little set for you. I hope you're all enjoying this at home and having fun. I know it's not the usual party in the park feeling, but hopefully you're having a party at home. So, as you know, there's a lot going on in the world, and we can't be together, but like I said, we're going to share some songs today, so please sing along. Even though I can't hear you, you can always record yourself and you can send it to me so I can see you singing along. So anyhow, here's one. So this isn't a Gaga song, but Lady Gaga did perform it. Well, she's actually performed this twice. So, but I'm sure you'll recognise this song, so I hope you like it. Here we go. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell above us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Oh, oh, oh. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. And nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Whoa, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, yeah, and the world will live as one. So, did you know that one? I'm sure you did. Made Famous by John Lennon. So, are you all drinking at home, or are you just like having a snack or a cup of tea or something? So yeah, I hope you are having fun. Like I said, we have a few songs, and these are songs I thought, here's one that I'm sure you'll all remember. And whenever I've done Pride Cymru, you always seem to sing along with this one. So that's why I chose it today. So, excuse me. So, look at this. I mean, I haven't even got a glass. You just can't get the staff these days. A bottle of water. Do you know what I mean? A plastic bottle. Sorry, it's not very... Oh my goodness. So, I want to hear you sing along with me. Because I'm giving you a million reasons to sing along with me today. Come on. Let's do this. Are you ready? Here we go. You're giving me a million reasons to let you go. Giving me a million reasons to quit the show. Giving me a million reasons. Give me a million reasons. Giving me a million reasons. About a million reasons. Are you singing at home? Come on! If you could find a dry day, I'd forever be still. Giving me a million reasons. Give me a million reasons. Giving me a million reasons. About, here we go, come on! I bow down to pray. I try to make the world seem better, Lord. Show me the way to cut through all this worn out leather. I've got 100 million reasons to walk away. Baby, I just need one good one to stay. Head stuck in a cycle, I look up and I stare. It's like that I've stopped breathing but completely aware. Giving me a million reasons. Give me a million reasons. Giving me a million reasons. About a million reasons. And if you say something that you might even mean, it's hard to even fathom just what I should believe. Giving me a million reasons. Are you giving me a million reasons at home? Come on! I try to make the world seem better, Lord. Show me the way to cut through all this worn out leather. Now I got 100 million reasons to walk away. Baby, I just need one good one to stay. Can't you see that I'm bleeding, bleeding? One good one Thank you. I hope you were singing at home and joining in and having fun. So, like I said, well, I'm doing a few different songs. Now, this one, I've never performed at Pride Cymru because it's off the new album. Hang on, I got a squeaky. Wait there we go. So, I don't know if you know this, and you should do because the album is such a hit at the minute. And if you haven't heard this song, this is the piano version, which I absolutely love. So it's a beautiful song called 1,000 Doves. I need you to listen to me, please believe me, I'm completely lonely. Please don't judge me when your tears are falling, I catch them as they fall. I need you to listen to me, please don't leave me, I'm not perfect yet, but I keep trying. When your tears are falling, I catch them as they fall. 'Cause inside, we are really made the same. In life, waiting's just a stupid game. Lift me up, give me a start. I've been flying with some broken arms. Lift me up, just a small nudge. I'll be flying like 1,000 doves. Flying like 1,000, flying like 2,000, flying like 1,000 doves. Flying like 1,000, flying like 2,000, flying like 10,000 doves. I'd do anything if you would just believe me. I am human, invisibly bleeding. When your smile is shaking, I'll catch you as you fall. If I had a painter's mind, then I would paint it. Or a sculptor's hand, then I would shape it. But instead, I guess I'll sing it in this song. I cry more than I ever say. Each time, your love seems to save the day. Lift me up, give me a start. I've been flying like a broken arms. Lift me up, just a small nudge. I'll be flying like 1,000 doves. Flying like 1,000, flying like 2,000, flying like 10,000 doves. Flying like 1,000, flying like 2,000, flying like 10,000 doves. So there we go. That was off the new album Chromatica. Oh my God, I think I've got my wrong teeth in today. I seem to be getting everything mixed up. So I love the new album. It's amazing. I hope you're listening to it at home, and I so cannot wait to perform all the new songs for you guys live in front of a real audience instead of through a screen. But oh my goodness. So I've got one more song for you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Pride Cymru, all the amazing acts that are performing for you, all the things going on this week. I hope you've had a great time. There's so much more to come. So here's probably one of everyone's favorite songs. And I know this always gets the crowd going, and there's no way you can tell me you don't know the chorus, because everyone knows the chorus of this. So thank you. Big love to you guys. Mwah, sending my love to you. Take care, keep safe and well, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you, Pride Cymru. There ain't a reason you and me should be alone tonight. Yeah, baby, tonight, yeah, baby. I got should take me home tonight. I need a man that thinks he's right when it's so wrong. Tonight, yeah, baby, tonight, yeah, baby. Out on the edge of something final, we call life tonight. It's hard to feel the rush and rush of dangerous. I'm gonna run back till the edge with you, where we can both fall in love. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment of truth. Out on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. Out on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. Take care, big love.
Well, wasn't that fantastic?
Amazing.
Donna Marie.
I love that. Now, this is probably a good time to check up on what happened when Joe met up with the rugby team.
I'm looking forward to this.
And me.
I'm on Pontcanna Fields ahead of Cardiff Lions, Wales' first gay inclusive rugby team ahead of their training session. I'm joined by Chairman Gareth and Head Coach Howell. How are you doing, guys?
Thank you very much.
You know, how important has it been, Gareth, to get back into playing after the hiatus of lockdown?
It's been very important. You know, we've been apart since March, which for a lot of these boys, you know, they used to live in each other's pockets, so it's been important to get to see real people. Again, people faces they know, certainly from the mental health aspect as well, where they've been cooped up in their homes. Either we've got a player who lives in Aberystwyth who's probably had no interaction personally with any of the boys for such a long time. So it's important that we're back now, just living our lives.
And Howell, new instated head coach.
Yes.
How is it going to look getting these boys back into shape after months off rugby?
Well, we had one training session a couple of weeks ago, and it was nice to see everyone back doing some fitness. Lots of sweating, lots of drinking water, but a little bit slow. But again, we have had since March off, so we've got the next couple of months of just doing fitness and handling and conditioning. So looking forward to it.
Oh. And you know, we're talking about inclusivity in sport here, Gareth. How important is it for the Lions to kind of get rid of the stereotype that rugby is just a hyper-masculine sport and can be enjoyed by all?
It's incredibly important. You know, we've had players join us from other clubs because they were worried about, you know, the hyper-masculinity, toxic masculinity that can exist within changing rooms across Wales, you know, in the rugby field, the sort of laddish, boyish culture, banter, all that sort of nonsense, really, is the only word I can really think about it. So it's important that we create a safe space for everyone to be able to just come to us as you are. No sort of pretense, no sort of building yourself up, a fake persona. Just be yourself with us, and that's the best way to be.
Awesome. So what can people expect if they decided to, you know, join, see this video, they want to come down and join? What can they expect? What's a training session like with the Lions?
Again, the next couple of weeks will be fitness and conditioning, but we will start off with doing some basic skills and stuff. So you don't need to be coming in playing as a level as Gareth, or you know, you can just pick up a rugby ball for the first time. Might not even watch rugby might not watch rugby before. And it's just coming in, it's just enjoying yourself, it's having fun. So it'd be a lot of fun, skills and fitness.
Brilliant. Thank you guys so much for speaking with me. I'll let you get on with the training session. Now back to you guys back at the Pride Cottage.
That was great, and it's always important to see how important that teamwork and sport, when it comes together to fight bigotry and prejudice.
It is, and it's something we talk about very often on our Radio Cardiff programme as well.
Me too, yeah.
It is. Okay, now for a bit more music from the incredible Jack Furison. I'm going to enjoy my Prosecco.
Enjoy, guys.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. Oh, I wanna die. It's not unusual to go out with anyone. It's not unusual to shout out anyone. But if you ever wanna be loved by anyone, it's not unusual, happens every day. Says this fantastic game, you'll find it happens all the time. Now love will never do what you want it to. So I can't this crazy love anymore. It's not unusual to be mild with anyone. No, it's not unusual to be sad with anyone. If you should ever want to be loved by anyone, it's not unusual. See that I'm in love with you. To see that I'm in love with you. Happy Pride Cardiff, happy Pride World. Mwah!
And now it's time for a bit more poetry. This time it's a beautiful piece called Rainbows, and it's by actress Lou Caulfield.
Orange and red are healing and life. Celebrate today, but remember the strife. Yellow and green, sunlight and nature. Bring joy to each other, reflect on our culture. Blue is serenity, to accept who we are and acknowledge our truth, and know we've come far. Violet is spirit. The fight still goes on. Equality for all and bigots be gone. As progress is made, then all must be welcome. The trans blue, white and pink must join our bright spectrum. The brown and the black will be embraced too. For who would we be if we didn't have you? Our voices are one. We shall be heard. A rainbow of love to cover the world. It's not just a flag. It's a symbol we shout and fly as we march. We're here and we're out. we won't go away. And hate can never divide. We're one family, one voice. We are Pride.
So, what do you want to do when you're older? The honest answer? I just don't know. I want a place where I can play to my strengths and for my skills to be challenged every day. A place to grow into who I want to be. I want to discover opportunities and try things new. I want to see my future self. See the future you at Coleg y Cymru.
At Legal in General, we stand for inclusion, for a workplace where we can all perform at our best, no matter who we are. We're focused on social inclusion for everyone. Many of our people have a passionate desire to make Legal in General a stronger, more diverse business. Our thriving diversity and inclusion networks, which we fully support, have done great things to help individuals connect, feel valued and flourish together. I'm pleased to take this opportunity to celebrate the achievements of trans, bisexual, lesbian and gay communities across the whole of Wales. I wish all celebrating a very happy and a safe Pride. Enjoy.
Hi guys, Joanna Bumby here from the Golden Cross in Cardiff. I do hope you're all having a fabulous and safe Pride Cymru this year. I know it's not ideal, I know we're not doing what we normally do, because there's nothing I'd love to be doing right now than to be performing at actual Pride Cymru in front of loads of wonderful people. But unfortunately, stuff happens, doesn't it? So, but I hope we're having a nice Pride anyway. We're doing our best to try and keep you entertained and come together virtually to celebrate. I'm going to do a little song for you all now. I know, unfortunately, you might want to go for a break at the moment, but I'm going to do a little song that I've taken and I've rewritten. I've rewritten a classic 80s number, and I decided to rewrite it about something I absolutely adore about Cardiff. It's my favourite thing about Cardiff, and I do hope you enjoy it, and hopefully we'll see you all soon. Thank you. Where do we go when the night is over? When all the clubs they have come to an end. When the sunlight seems to be getting closer. It's the place to finish with, and don't forget your friends. It's Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. Chippy Lane. It's the place you need to be down on Chippy Lane. All the drunks, well, they will start to ascend here. Stumbling all down the street, yeah. Well, all the guys, they will start a fight here.
And the girls just can't hold it in, and they will start to weep on Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. Remember, it's a public place, come on now. Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. See you weeing down on Chippy Lane. There's Dorothy's Hacks, Kebab King and Rotana. And that's just to name a few, there's lots more. You'll probably get the squibs from them in the morning. You always do. You'll say you don't want to go there, but then you'll change your mind. You'll end up getting everything off the menus and leave your friends behind on Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. We've all got a place like this in our local town. Chippy Lane, Chippy Lane. You know, you'll always go there. We always want to go down to Chippy Lane. Guys, thank you so much. I've been Joanna Bummy. You have been absolutely fantastic. Hope you have a happy and safe Pride. But for now, I'm going to welcome to the screen the one, the only, the ever so gorgeous and talented. It's Grace Parry!
Happy Pride, guys. Remember the days I couldn't breathe without you. Believed every word you say. Felt so loved, made me feel so damn used. Never thought I would see this day. Left so much my mother knows. I've jumped off the rodeo. I'm done, so done. I'm letting
$1 million bill. This is one of my favourites.
I really love that poem.
Oh, just fantastic.
And I think it's incredible to show and demonstrate progress within the community, as well as show that there's still a fight to go.
And a lovely little postcard from Caerphilly as well with our friend Joanna, and great local music from the wonderful Grace Parry. Beautiful.
Amazing. And speaking of talent...
Oh, lots of talent. We're talking major talent.
Major talent. We're joined by the one and only son of a tutu. Now, we've got plenty to talk about. She's been doing so much.
We're not worthy.
Can I just say, one of the gifts of lockdown has been being referred to as talent. Now that happens in the real world.
You're talent, girl.
No one ever shouts across a busy bar. Talent there. That's talent.
Bring on the streams and the online stuff.
I love it.
Talent.
I love it.
So how has lockdown been for you?
How are you?
I'm fine. Lockdown has been interesting because I think you had Miss Rona.
Yes, yeah.
Miss
I
Rona.
had her for the 2 weeks.
She stayed with me fairly early.
I had it back in March.
Yeah.
But then the post-viral fatigue that followed took months.
Horrific. It was like all my hangovers rolled into one. It was awful.
And he's had a few hangovers.
I think he's having one now too.
I'm having a flush.
But personally, I've always been somebody whose energy's always been slightly reclusive anyway. So the isolation, the quarantine, and all the mechanics of that itself don't bother me. It's just been getting over the wake of the carnage that Miss Rona inflicts. That's been
And I mean, being such a creative as well, and having your income and the way you live your life week in, week out, performing, stripped away from you. That must have been kind of hard.
It is hard, but what I found even harder was the fact that because of that post-viral fatigue, your motivation goes because you've got no energy to do anything. That plays havoc with your mental health.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do any online shows. Every now and then...
You missed a buck or two there. I said buck.
I might be coming to Nathan for us. For him to top up my Rishi grant.
I love it.
You need a glitter portrait. You really do.
Honestly, and so that was the biggest thing for me. And then I just got show shy. I just wouldn't do shows online. And every now and then an event would pop up that I'd go, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that pushes you beyond the inertia that I was in. But other than that, I've just been happy to sit back and watch other people do work.
And there's been some great shows.
There has.
There's been some fantastic shows. There's a lot of drag shows which have really shone through this period.
I mean, shout out to the Golden. I mean, they started as far as I'm concerned. I mean, as soon as, lockdown was announced, Rob and his girls were like...
They were on it.
They were on it.
They absolutely were.
It's like, oh my God, Mary Goldfield, she can get an audience online to make up for all the ones she didn't have in play. Cut that out. No, don't. Leave it in.
Leave it in. All right, then. Speaking of audiences, I guess when you're in a room with one, you can kind of gauge it and see what's going on. Do you think that was a bit of the fear then, online? People are so negative, people troll. Do you think maybe that was a little bit of your shyness?
No, it was just fatigue.
Just fatigue?
Just mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love an audience.
Yeah.
And the reason I do this job is that I love that whole process of, for the set time that you're on stage, I always say we live a life of service. So when I'm on that stage, it's not about me at all.
Yeah.
It's about what I can summon up within me to give to that audience, whether it be through laughs, whether it be through thought provocation or challenges, or whether it could just be, just leave them entertained, but also leaving with a seed planted of progress that they will take out into the world.
I love that.
And hopefully help grow a better place for all of us.
Yeah.
And I love that. And if at the end I've done my job well enough on that particular day, and the audience responds with their acknowledgement and enthusiasm for that, that's the bit that's for me. That's the bit that's for me. But while I'm actually in the process of delivering, it's, as I always say, it's a service.
Yeah.
I see some performers that haven't yet understood that, and it's all about me.
Yes.
Me. And for my taste, it turns me off. When you're on that stage, you are providing a service, and you have to give all of you for the purpose of the audience.
Do you think that's something that comes with time, though? Do you think it's... were you that performer in the beginning? Was it me?
Probably because I came to drag very late. I came to.
You're telling me you wasn't born this fabulous?
I was born this fabulous, but it was within a very, very, very large, solid cocoon.
I think I've seen the film.
Wow.
It was worse than that. I mean, the cocoon was it felt very safe and warm because it was all sparkles and glitter on the inside, but on the outside it was pig ugly.
Sounds like something I want to retreat to.
I can't.
Let's get back to the cocoon.
and that was part of my own growth. I didn't come to it until I was in my 40s.
Wow.
And part of it had been due to early years disapproval of drag by my parents and the trauma that was inflicted upon me when they caught me doing drag when I was about 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so I literally then found that cocoon and didn't come out of it for 30 odd years. And so maybe because I had that long gestation period, and because I didn't come to it when I was, raging with the enthusiasm of youth, I've had time to consider that.
Yeah.
And that's why I have that attitude.
Yeah, and I think you can bring, especially with drag, you can bring a lot of like life experiences into it. And when you've got a few more years behind you, you've got a few more tools to play with, if you know what I mean.
And I've also always been a person that's been drawn, not due to any part of my own doing, but just my DNA, to social activism and progressive leanings. And so that naturally became part of my work. And one of my all-time heroes and inspirations has always been Nina Simone. And she has a wonderful quote saying it's the responsibility of an artist to reflect the times they live in.
Yes.
And that's a quote that I took to long before I became a performer. So it's always been a guiding principle.
Yeah, that's actually a video I recently seen.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites.
Nina Simone videos have come to light again recently. I mean, obviously due to the Black Lives Matter campaign and the movement that's taking place. Now that came about during lockdown, which a lot of people were struggling with anyway. That on top of lockdown, it must have been hard. It must have been difficult.
Yes. But then the real difficulty is the hundreds of years of oppression, the hundreds of years of subjugation, the hundreds of years of Black lives not mattering. So therefore, when this particular leg of the movement kicked off during lockdown, and there was a choice of, do we stay home to save lives or go out to save more lives? Because Corona's always only been around for 5 or maybe 4 months at the time. The kind of thing that the protests were about had been killing lives or suppressing lives that it didn't kill for 400 or 500 years. And so the people that went out there to protest knew the risks, but it's a risk that they were happy to take because of what they saw to be the greater good, despite the fact that the majority of the people involved, the majority but not all, in the Black Lives Matter movement and protest are from communities that are more vulnerable to Corona. And that is how strong and desperate the urge to do something and seize upon seize the moment in order to make change. Every generation has its fight. I mean, I'm from a generation whereby we fought in this part of the world what I would call statutory homophobia and suppression. And those are the fights that we fought from Section 28, from this and that and that and this. And the millennial generation, their great battle has been mopping up all the stuff that we left behind. Because every generation passes on to the next, the world that they have had. And so when they received the world, they went, okay, thank you for passing this on, but this, that is not right. And we stand up against that. And that's our fight. And then you have the intergenerational struggles. Oh, no, why are you trying to change it? Just like, people of our parent generation said, no, you can't be, Margaret Thatcher, you can't teach people the inalienable right to be gay. So every generation resists it, but at the end of the day, the people who are the custodians of the mantle of progression will always win through. Which is why we did the microaggressions video.
Which is incredible.
You can do better in order to, because I always believe in supporting each other's learning, and you have those that the bulldozers to clear away the mess, and then you have the builders who help build the new. And my DNA is more geared towards the building.
Yeah.
And so everything I try to do is try and build, and both are necessary and both are important and have to go hand in hand.
Do you feel hopeful for change? Because it was only yesterday I was reflecting and I was thinking we started the year with a hashtag Be Kind. We've all turned our profile pictures black for BLM. We've clapped for nurses, but yet it's only 8 months into the year, and yet people have showing unkind, behaviour to each other.
It's very sad.
The profiles have gone, and it was almost a trend, the BLM movement for a lot of people. The clapping for the nurses, they didn't get the pay rise or whatever. Is it a worry that these things can become a trend that everybody jumps on and then it's forgotten? And as an activist, which you are, how important is it for you to keep the movement going?
The movement will always go. The movement progress can never be stopped.
No.
No matter from which angle you approach your resistance to change or the intensity of that resistance, change will always happen because that is part of life.
Yeah.
You change or you die, so change happens. However, there is no single bullet. There is no one single protest or one single hashtag that will solve the problem.
Yeah.
And so you shake the tree, some of the rotten apples fall off, great upheaval, some persist. Somebody else comes along, shakes it again. It's a process.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I have hope.
Yeah.
And whatever we do, we must do to in order to be able to do that bit that we can, effect that piece of change that we can here and now, until you go back and shake the tree again, or somebody else steps in and shakes it.
Yeah.
So before we now cut to the incredible video that you were part of, can we just congratulate you on being cast in Everybody's Talking About Jamie? Incredible. I'm sure you're very excited for all that to come out.
Oh, I've loved it. I've never been in a movie before.
It's fabulous.
It's, at my age,
no.
at my age.
Really? 21.
My age.
Incredible.
It's almost as if the entire life that I lived before didn't happen.
It's fabulous.
In my 50s, I started had my first modelling contract.
Wow.
I think it was Primark, but it was still a model.
Wow.
But thank you, Primark. I've loved every second of it. I cast in a movie.
I love it.
Me, I might be absolutely atrocious, but at least it will be there forever.
It's gonna be fab. We can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see my IMDb profile.
And what next?
Brilliant. I love it.
Hollywood.
OnlyFans. I love it. It's been incredible talking to you. Tutu, would you like to introduce the clip to the camera?
Oh, I would love to.
Why not? It's down to you.
That it's been so marvellous chatting to you two as well.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And congratulations on the books.
Thank you.
And congratulations on
surviving.
I know. Bring on the second wave. I'm ready.
But thank you very much. Here in the Pride Cottage, it's a shack with an outhouse. Here is the video put together by myself and some friends of mine talking about microaggressions, hashtag you can do better. This is a 3-minute edit of it. And if you want to see the full version, which is about 9 minutes long, go onto any of my social media profiles, at Son of a Tutu on Instagram, at Son of a Tutu on Twitter, Son of a Tutu on YouTube, and Olajide on Facebook. You can find it there, the full length. But this is the 3-minute version, microaggressions, hashtag you can do better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, have you ever wondered how you can do better? Well, a few friends of mine have asked me for help in this regard. But I'm not here alone. I brought some other friends along with me to help with this assistance. So, shall we begin? Microaggressions. Microaggressions are defined as a statement, action, or incident regarded as an instance of indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group.
When you don't acknowledge my existence and ignore me as I enter the store, yet proceed to follow me around, watching everything I do. You can do better.
Please stop asking if I wash my hair. You can do better.
Please don't tell me to smile so you can see me in the dark. You can do better.
Please get my country of origin right and not refer to it as Africa, which is a continent. You can do better.
Please, recognize me as your local priest, not the local black priest. You can do better.
Please stop shouting, "Me love you long time," at me. You can do better.
Making reference to a racist stereotype and then turning to me to say, well, not you, you're not black, is not a compliment. You can do better.
Please stop asking me lasciviously which part of me is black. My blackness is between my ears, not my legs. You can do better.
Please don't assume I'm good at sport just because I'm black. You can do better.
If I'm just stood there minding my own business, don't come over and try and touch my hair. It's rude. You can do better.
Please stop asking me the size of my manhood. You can do better.
Please don't tell me you're not racist because you have black friends. You can do better.
When I tell people I'm a trained dancer and they ask me to do some hip-hop moves, but I just tell them that I'm a classically trained dancer and the sheer disbelief on their faces. You can do better.
When you ask me what my heritage is, instead of, "Where are you really from?" Thank you for doing better.
Thank you for calling out the bartender at the gay bar for serving white people before he served me, even though I was waiting the longest.
When you treat me just like everybody else, as an equal, thank you for doing better.
Please help us stop the anger and frustration created by these microaggressions. We can only do it together. Thanks for listening and watching. You can do better. Much love.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and it's such an important message as well. And thank you for just being so honest and, opening it up. It's powerful, really powerful video.
Thank you very much.
It's really powerful, and I think it just goes to show that between us all, whether it's us, our friends, our family, our community, we can all affect change.
Yeah, we certainly can, and everybody's got their part to play, and we can all make a change together. So let's stay hopeful for the future.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Thank you, boy.
I look forward to seeing you on a stage very, very soon.
And I look forward to coming on your radio show at some point.
You'll have a full 2 hours just to yourself. Movie star.
You've said it now.
Movie star. Thank you very much.
Amazing. And thank you, everyone. I will be back a little bit later talking about my book.
Yes, it's a good book.
It's a very good book. But
I think
now,
I make it into page 3. I'm always on page 3.
Shocking.
Maybe
And
parts
4.
of me spills into 4. Yeah.
Shocking. Okay, now we're going to leave you with a little bit of music.
We've come so far, and we've reached so high, and we've looked each day and night in the eye, and we're still so young, and we hope for more. We've come a long way, but we're not too sure where we've been. We've had success, we've had good times,